this story starts with a friend of mine, Jerry Lynn Brazel Havens. I was actually working on a different story, and she asked me, she goes, have you ever heard the story of Dead Man's Bluff? And I told her I hadn't, and she goes, well, Dead Man's Bluff is past the Twin Culverts, which is the hairpin curve there at Jasper. And she said, years ago, the old legend says that there was a man walking from Harrison, and he fell from the bluff, and they found him sometime later. And she said, but that's probably, she goes, it might just be an old legend. So that kind of drew my interest. So I started looking into that, and before long, I found that there was an article in October 1903 that was entitled, Man Fell from Bluff near Jasper. So I started looking into that, and I found that it actually was not a legend, that someone had fell from Dead Man's Bluff, thus giving the place its name. And the story was, he was traveling from Eureka Springs, and he was coming into Jasper one night. It was real dark, calm night, and as he came into Jasper, he started looking off to his left over the Buffalo. There was a light in the old Thompson place, and in the dead of night, was no moonlight, he thought he could step straight over into it. Well, it turns out that he walked off the edge of the bluff. The old legend says that when he hit, it did not kill him initially. They said that he might have laid there 2 or 3 days. He had crawled around, stripped the bark off some trees to survive. That can't be proven. But I started looking into this because I thought, man, you know, it's a terrible story, but it'd be great to mark his grave and give him some kind of token of remembrance. So as I started looking, I got a hold of some people who had family here, and I finally found a lady over in Tennessee that her grandpa and his friends were the ones that found him. They were on their way to school over here, not far from where we're standing here in the Pruitt Cemetery. And they found him dead at the foot of the bluff. He did not confirm that he crawled around and ate bark off the trees and things like that. But the rest of the story apparently rings pretty true. And so I thought, well, maybe I can find a name for this guy. There's got to be something for this guy. So I started digging. Nothing, October, November, December, and I finally ran across an article where they had came from Harrison to Jasper trying to find this guy's identity to give him a proper burial or find his family. And I found that the night before he died, he had stopped at Dr. Silas Shrug Stacy's store in Marble Falls. And Dr. Stacy was a big mover and shaker at that time. And he spent the night with him previously. And he said, my name is Woodyard. He did not give his first name. And he said, I'm staying with a man named Stacks in Eureka Springs. And he said he was on his way to Jasper on some kind of trip. They called them tramps back then. He apparently was just kind of a wanderer and had been staying with this guy. So I looked for Stacks, Woodyard, any kind of different variation, Woodward, you know, Stacks, Stucks, Sticks. You know, I thought maybe it was a misprint. Could find nobody, so I'm assuming the guy named Stacks in Eureka Springs was probably a nickname. But the Woodyard guy was staying with him. He left, never came back, fell off the bluff, died. And so then I started talking to the family. Nobody remembered where he was buried. They just remembered finding him. And they came down to it that we decided, since Dead Man's Bluff is only just a little ways back that way, that they most likely brought him here and buried him in the Pruitt Cemetery. So thanks to the donations and things I received, we were able to buy him a 9x18 stone and put it up. And the only information we had was unknown Woodyard, and we put fell from Dead Man's Bluff, October 1903, because we couldn't even find an exact date. There's no death certificate. It's just some of these old stories are so hard to tell because there's so little on them. But it was a really cool experience to be able to mark his grave and actually find that for once one of these local legends, as they often do, have a little bit of truth to them. And it's just it's a sad, but it's another great story from the hills.